Ludwinski calling for it. One-timer scores! Oh, baby, what a shot! Paul Ludwinski's first goal of the season.
What a laser!
I am here with Paul Ludwinski, who is fresh back from the training and development camp with the Chicago Blackhawks. Paul, can you tell me what that draft experience was like there for you?
You know, just something you dream about as a kid. I mean, first of all, the draft was incredibly done. You know, you see it on TV, but you're never really there. And when I experienced my name getting called, it happened so fast. And then, you know, I was up on the stage. I went to their box. I met all the personnel, all that. And then, you know, I was walking around Montreal, and the next day I was off to Chicago for development camp. And, you know, that was fun. It was a great 10 days in Chicago. They took us to a Bears game. Sorry, not a Bears game, a Cubs game. You know, we went to Axe Throwing. We explored the city. So it wasn't just like hockey. It was a great introduction to the city. And, you know, I was there for rookie camp and main camp. So even more exploring. And, you know, it's definitely very hockey focused, but it doesn't mean we didn't have fun as a team and as a group. So just how the team's been to me so far is, you know, better than expected. And even when I was injured, they took care of me. So, you know, I look forward to spending more years there. And the trust they have in me is, you know, the trust I'm going to put in them too.
Do you remember the first thought that went through your head when you heard your name get called?
When I heard, like, I didn't even really hear my name get called. It's just, like, Shane Wright was already the Kingston pick, obviously, before me. So when they said Kingston Frontenacs, and, you know, I kind of thought, like, I had an idea of the Blackhawks in my mind. So when I heard, like, Kingston Frontenacs, I kind of, you know, already stepped up. And then I heard, like, Paul Ludwinski, and my family was screaming. My mom was in my ear, you know, basically crying. So it was a great feeling. And just walking down that stairs and onto the stage was, like, something you look forward to as a kid. And, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing that will never happen again. So definitely one of the memories.
And having spent time in that training and development camp there, what did you learn about yourself that you may not have known before?
I'm pretty good living by myself. I mean, you know, my billets do a great job with me, and they really make food for me well, and, you know, they give me my own space to live, and they're very kind people. But you know, even by myself in Chicago in the hotel, I survived there for, you know, a month, which, you know, may drive some people nuts, but I got through it, and, you know, I was having fun, and I bonded with some guys on the team that, you know, I wasn't shy, and I approached them and we battled. And I just learned that, you know, I can do this and I have it in me. So I can't look forward to, you know, future seasons to happen, but, you know, I got to take it one season at a time and focus on this junior career first. So.
And what skills are you bringing back from that training and development experience that you want to apply for yourself this season and even encourage others in some of those fresher faces on the team this year?
Honestly, so I was injured for about a week and a half, maybe two. So I was on the ice with Chris Kunitz every day. You know, he won, I don't even know how many cups, maybe 3, 4. But just one of the most hardworking players in the game, one of the, you know, best players in the game at that time in their cup runs. So taking things away from him, like wall work and, you know, getting to the middle and using your edges, it was great too. And playing with guys who are, like, in the NHL. So, you know, them going against you when you're injured even is pushing you. And you're going against big bodies, like guys that are 220, you know, 6'4", and guys that you aren't used to in the OHL. So having, like, competed with those guys and having won some of those battles, something I'm trying to bring and, you know, put it into my game that no one's going to win a puck battle against me. I'm going to be strong on my stick, my feet, and, you know, push guys around instead of, like, my rookie year where I got pushed around. And also just the leadership I see, like, you know, I was there with Connor Murphy, and what a guy he was to everyone on the team. Just treated everyone, you know, with the same respect, no matter if it was, you know, the top guy on the team or, you know, one of the scratches. So being around him really opened my eyes that, you know, it's the NHL, but it doesn't matter. There's leaders everywhere, and, you know, no one thinks they're ahead of the team.
And with working with all of those top coaches, those top athletes, I'm sure you heard a little bit of critique about what you can improve. How do you keep that from getting to you and getting under your skin?
I find you got to have just a mentality, like, you know, you're never good enough. You got to get better. You just got to have the mentality. I mean, someone wants to make you better if they're giving you, you know, that extra, like, voice in your head that's going to tell you what to do better. So What I do is I try to keep one thing in mind that was told for me from the last time and put it together. And every practice you're focusing on something, it's eventually going to come, because that's what practice is for. And when someone gives me that feedback, I think that they care about me and they want to see me better. And instead of just telling me, "Oh, great job" all the time, and just thinking that I'm as good as it's going to get.
And with losing a lot of veterans this past year with the draft, overagers, graduating players, what role do you want to take on with the team?
I'd like to be, one of the leaders. I think that I'm one of the go-to guys now, just because last year I kind of, we had our guys in the team, and respectfully so. I mean, they were great players, signed to the NHL or drafted. So obviously those guys were ahead, and I respected that. But the knowledge I took away from those guys will feed into what I do this year, and just having that mentality to treat everyone the same. And I like how the season's going so far, so hopefully we can build on that.
When you see a lot of these younger guys kind of coming out of their shell and really stepping into their game and having so much success already in such a young season, how do you feel about that?
Oh, it makes me feel awesome. I mean, that's what this team's for. We're a young team, and guys need to step out of their shell. So not only we have success this year, but for the next year we have success, and to build that into a Kingston Frontenac organization that's a consistent winning team year by year. So if you get younger guys to do it more frequently in the beginning, they're going to be doing it in their fourth and fifth years like butter, like it's going to be automatic. So it's good to see those guys doing that, and I hope they feel comfortable around this team, and I think we have a good culture this year, so I'm sure they do.
Building off of last year, you guys had a phenomenal season. There were ups and downs, inconsistencies with full rinks, empty rinks. How did that kind of shape you coming into this season?
Last year we saw it all. I mean, we saw 9 fourth and 6D lineup, and we had to play through that in front of no crowd, or we had a full lineup and we had to play against one of the hardest teams. So it didn't matter who we were playing against, if there's anyone in the crowd, if we had COVID or not. I mean, everyone came to play with what numbers we had, or whatever bodies we had. So just thinking about that this year and thinking how that's kind of in the past, it's just, you got to work through it. And I mean, that shaped us. We already went through that adversity, and not saying we're not going to go through any more this year. We definitely will. There's always ups and downs in a season, but thinking last year may have been like one of the hardest seasons for us, just because of all that stuff, that you can't control. But this year is definitely out of the way a little bit. So we're looking to minimize the adversity, learn from our mistakes, and, get better every day.
And one of the consistent themes that I heard from talking to a lot of you guys last year was don't get too high and don't get too low. What does that mean to you?
It just means no matter how good you think you're playing, you don't get disrespectful. I mean, you don't celebrate too much. It's good to celebrate, but you can always be playing better. There's always little things. So if you get too high, you're getting off your game a little bit. But don't get, too focused, because then you're clenching your stick too much. So you want a perfect in between where you're having fun playing, but you're also, dialed in to make plays. So it's the perfect in between, I find, for me when I'm loose, but also, I'm having fun on the ice and able to make plays. And after, we score a goal or anything, we go right back out and we do it again. We don't stop, and it's going to come every shift until the last 60 minutes of the game. And if there's overtime, we're going to still do it. And if there's shootout, we're going to win too. So no matter how much time's left in the game, always stay dialed.
Thank you for your time. And because I didn't say it off the hop there, huge congratulations on being drafted. That's a phenomenal feat.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for having me.
That was Paul Ludwinski, Kingston Frontenac's forward, who was drafted 39th overall in the second round to Chicago and just came back from the training and development camp with the Blackhawks.